The show has so many elements to it, really, that it appeals to folk in lots of different ways. I mean, we never pigeonhole this show. We're not a dance show, we're not a percussion show, we're not a comedy show, but all those elements are in there. And that, I think, is a constant surprise to folk. Some folks still think, oh, Stomp, I'm going to go along, and is it just constant
Loud,
banging
constant
noise?
Yeah.
And it's not that. It really does have all those elements and flavours in it, and that's something that people that have seen the show even come back and see it 3 years later, 4 years later, are sometimes amazed at how much the music's got more complex, whether there's much more comedy in there, because the performers tend to see someone else being funny and thinking, I'll have a go at that.
Yeah.
So the comedy level has risen considerably in the show. Right. I think we could all agree.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's also the fact we try and rewrite stuff every 2 years. We put in new routines, so that the show is very much constantly and organically developing.
And you've got like different people, different cast members maybe learning different roles, or cast will change so much, and everyone does it differently. So you got a really nice mix all the time, which I like about it personally.
That's one of the biggest elements that I enjoy about the show, is that it's not typecast. When you play a particular character, you don't have to play it the same way that someone else plays it. And what Stomp is looking for you is for you to be the best representation of yourself within that character. So you get all these different dynamics that interplay together. So when someone comes to see the show for a second time, essentially, if it's a different cast, they're often seeing a different show because of the way those characters will interrelate together. And that's why a lot of the comedy moments, it's quite organic, and a lot of it is impromptu, and you react with the audience, you react with the different cast members. So it keeps you on your toes, keeps it fresh, and there's always different elements that you can include. So it doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing day in, day out.
And every audience, obviously, with every given show, is the different ninth cast member.
Which affects the show completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that equally changes from country to country. Depending on what audiences feel they can give up or what they're allowed to. Different audiences have different inhibitions. So that's what keeps it fresh for us, and I think that's what keeps it fresh for a returning audience.